I guess there might have been a little bit of a kerfuffle in there with, I forgot to, anyway, we're good. Hey, how you doing? Welcome back. This is the commentary portion of the show where you can ask anything you want. If you missed the first part of the show, if you don't know what you're watching right now, you are watching the commentary of a show that just happened, all about the I keep saying webinar, Epiphan Webcaster X2, simultaneous dual inputs, testing a new microphone. It was a test within a test within a test. There's two, it's insane. But that's what we had for today's show. So back over to the commentary. Let's see what is going on in the comment section of today's show. Achita Lynn is saying, you've commented on the last live video. Do as the Panasonic tutorial said. You should be able to do it easily. Oh, there's a, okay, Achita's talking about getting the G85 or GX85 pseudo tether, not tethered, but transferring wired, I think wired, or was it wired or wireless? What are you doing, Achita? Transferring over to a Mac. Something I've never really been able to get working right, but apparently Achita did. She says, do the same, do what the Panasonic tutorial says. Okay, I guess I'll have to RTFM on that one. Carlos says, about the pre-sale of your GH5 training course, what a bargain. Why, thank you. I enjoyed every bit of it. I think it's a must-have. Why, thank you very much, Carlos, for saying that. What Carlos is, of course, talking about is my GH5 training, which is now complete. 5.5 hours of in-depth training on the Panasonic LUMIX GH5 camera, which you can purchase at gh5training.com. Or, I'm happy to tell you, is also now available on lynda.com and on LinkedIn Learning. So if you are a paid member of lynda.com or LinkedIn Learning, you can access the entire course there as well. So super duper. Thank you very much, Carlos, for the shout out. Love it. Love having an excuse to throw up that card. And yeah, it's a, as he says, it's a good value. And I put it this way. The GH5 is a $2,000 camera, not including tax. It's a $100 training. 5% of the cost of your camera, not including tax. To learn how to use the thing, probably a pretty good bargain. I think it's a pretty good spent of your money. All right. What else is happening in here? Achita says wireless. That's, you're doing the transfer wirelessly. Okay, well now you're really, okay, now I'm gonna have to go read all the comments. Epiphan, oh, Epiphan, hello. Epiphan's here. Oh, good, they tuned in. Epiphan video is here. Excellent. Sorry, Epiphan, you missed the primary whole show stream thing. So if anybody has any questions about the live stream thing that we just did for Epiphan, they are here. But Epiphan, let me just tell you, since you're here in the house right now, what we found out, and I found this out before we went live, so the audience didn't see this fail, but I told them that it didn't work. The whole point of today's test wasn't just to do a test of a webcam into that USB port, because we already knew that worked. We tested that before, but and while we have full disclosure, we know that the software is still beta on the device. Your other tech rep there had suggested that what might work is to take a real camera, DSLR, DSLM, HDMI out into an HDMI to USB converter, plug that converter into the USB port on the X2 to get a second camera over from a real camera. It didn't work. And I'm using the Epiphan AV.io HD, so it is the one, if anything was going to work, it would be yours, and it didn't. It made the whole device basically seize up and give me like 1 frame per second playback. Most of the reviews didn't work. I had to go back to the webcam. So it didn't work, and I know a lot of people here really, really hoping that it would work. So hopefully you can take that information back and maybe make some changes before this is officially released as a non-beta update. And yes, by the way, I did update the X2 this morning because there was a recent update. It is running the latest software. So Epiphan, if you got anything to add to that, please do in the comments. Otherwise, take that info for what it's worth and see what you guys can do about it. Because I know people here would be really excited to have a dual camera, real dual camera, input, switcher, streamer device for 300 bucks. It's a pretty good deal. So there's that. Next up, let's see what's in the comments. What else is happening here. Gabriel says, Epiphan USB capture interface have compressed video out. If not, maybe this is the problem. That's interesting. That's a very good point, Gabriel. Perhaps it is probably not compressing. I don't know what it's sending out. So whatever, and my interpretation of that, again, as I said during the live show there, was that the X2 was getting too much data. That's kind of how it felt. And by felt, I mean, I don't know anything other than just like my happy little emotions are going, ooh, I think this is what's happening here. It's very Ashland of me, wasn't it? But the device couldn't handle it. And so maybe that's right. Maybe it is not converting the image to H.264. Maybe that's what the Epiphan needs, the X2 needs. I don't know. I don't know. DTech Logic has started watching my course through Lynda. Very cool. Epiphan was here for the full show. Oh, well, there you go, Epiphan. If you commented earlier, I missed it. So thank you for being here for the full show. And Trevor says, have you done a show yet on your favorite audio choices, external mics and lav mics for working with the GH5 yet? Just curious, you get a lot of questions. So Trevor, we did a big review comparison analysis thing at the end of last year. I compared a couple of Rode mics, a Sennheiser mic. What was that other one? The Senall mic. And even we used just the on-camera. This was the GH4 because the GH5 wasn't out yet. We used just the built-in on-camera mic on the GH4 so you could really compare it. And it's a really cool test. We had 3 cameras set up simultaneously, swapping mics through. Sean Mark Nipper helped out with that. Thank you very much, Sean, for that. And it was a really cool, comprehensive look. And at the end result was the Rode and the Shure. The Rode and the Shure both performed very well, equally well. Slightly different sounds, but both equally good. I personally chose the Shure as the mic of choice for me. It's the Shure VP80 something. We'll link to that down below. It's a beautiful mic. I love it, and I just liked the shape and profile of it. Again, the sound compared to the Rode, equally good, slightly different, but one was not better than another, just different. Then when it comes to wireless, the one I'm talking on right now, which is the Sennheiser, your standard Sennheiser $700 or $800 pack, is fabulous. I've been using it for years. Love, love, love these things. I do want to plan to upgrade to the newer packs that have little nubby stubby antennas, because that is it's cooler for a lot of different reasons, especially if you're going to use with the GH5, use the XLR1 and plug 2 wireless mics into that. Those little stubby receivers instead of the big blocks are way, way cooler. So that is going to be kind of but that's like a $2,000 upgrade to get both of those mics. So not going to happen anytime soon. But that's about the extent of my mic reviews. Check out the video that we already linked to. Check out the video on the big comparison. Definitely worth looking at. Yeah, and draw your own conclusions. Okay. What else is going on? Estro Digital says, any news on getting a Lumix 8 to 18? Apparently, one is on order for me. That's all I know. Apparently it is. Fingers crossed, because I want one. I know, I'm super excited about that lens. It's funny because it's not, normally I wouldn't, I don't think I'd normally be that excited about that focal length, but I've heard so many good things about it. People just seem to love that lens. So the more I hear about it, the more I'm like, I want one. So hopefully it'll be here soon. I've been saying that for a while. Epiphan says, we'll bring that back to product management. Excellent, but it's unlikely the AV.I will be supported the USB 2 ports that are on Webcaster X2. So there you go. Gabriel is correct that the data output from the AVIO HD is not encoded or compressed, so perhaps that's why the X2 is freaking out on it. So Epiphan, with that said, if there is another converter, not from you guys, but any other third-party USB converter that you could recommend that would work, by all means tell us. That's what my audience wants. They want to know how, if they can, how they can connect 2 real cameras to the X2. That would be fantastic to know. Whew. A lot of chit-chat going on today. So, Epiphan's saying, responding to a question from DT Logic, that the USB port cannot be used for a hotspot. You can connect your hotspot via Wi-Fi. What we were going to test, I guess we could test this, or maybe I'll just test it and let you know. If you're using a hotspot like, I don't have it in here, but my little USB thumb drive thing, the Epiphan will not get the data from that, as Epiphan has just said, but it should power it. And once it's powered, it creates a Wi-Fi hotspot that the Epiphan can then connect to. That's actually how the live stream Mevo works. When you have the Mevo, whatever it's called, the Mevo Boost, you can plug in a USB modem into the USB port on there, but it's not actually pulling data through that USB modem. It is pulling the data from the Wi-Fi hotspot that is created because you've plugged it in there and given it power. So the exact same thing should work with the X2. There's no reason that it should not. So there's that. SRO Digital says, did you get any joy from Mets after your second attempt to reach them in respect to your future on non-Lumix flashes? No, they apparently don't want to talk to me. So if you know somebody there, have them reach out, but otherwise they're ignoring me. Matt Driver, USB 2 video Blackmagic web presenter. The web presenter is still 720p, isn't it? As long as it's 720p, I'm not going to touch it. I love Blackmagic. We know they've graciously loaned me a long-term loan, the camera that's out there. I've got probably $10,000 worth of Blackmagic gear in the studio right now. I love their stuff, but I am not going to do a live stream at 720p. Ain't going to happen. So if they have upgraded that to 1080p, let me know and I will grab it. But if it's still 720p, not even going to touch it. SRO Digital says, good news about the AT18. I agree. I can stop tweeting Lumix USA and Lumix UK then about sending you one. No, keep on tweeting it to them. It's fine. You can do that. I don't mind. All right. I think that's pretty good today. Pretty good little wrap up for today's sideshow here. And that's definitely what this is. This is a sideshow, isn't it? All right, guys. Thanks a ton for tuning in. Again, as always, wonderful to see you. I think today's show is relatively successful with the stream within a stream and the test within a test within a test. That was a lot of fun. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, go back and watch the original video. It was a lot of fun. And the secondary side video. Even more fun. Whew, now I gotta go watch the secondary side video and see how it looked and sounded, because I don't know yet. All right, folks, take care of yourselves. Have a wonderful rest of your day. I will see you tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.